Alright guys, we're doing a stream tonight. Yay, stream. So we're going to be doing a stream. Stream's firing up. Hopefully you guys get the email alert. Make sure it's starting right now. Let me check my alerts. See how it looks. How is that thumbnail? Let's take a look at that thumbnail real quick, guys. Let's take a look at it. Looks good. Hope you guys join me for a impromptu stream tonight. We're drinking some old school A&W root beer. I'll tell you why I'm doing this stream tonight. No volition of myself. There's stuff that's happening, and I had to make a sort of an audible, if you will. And I decided to do a stream tonight. I haven't even shaved today. I'm all scruffy. So yeah, we're doing a stream tonight. Hopefully you guys join me in the chat. Hopefully be fun. I'm hoping we'll do a good stream tonight. Let me refresh my screen here. I'm looking at my little side window. Hopefully we get some people in chat tonight. The email blast went out. Hopefully you guys do join me. If you don't, you can absolutely follow along on the video on demand. If you want to check me out there, you can do that after this stream goes live. So a lot going on right now. We'll talk about it in about a minute or so. Again, we're doing some A&W root beer tonight. Just I'm in a more of a root beer mood right now, so picked up a case of it about a week ago. But there's a lot going on. Hey, SPC Bird, how's it going? Thanks for coming into the chat tonight. This is, again, an impromptu stream. Normally, I would try to stream on Sundays. Again, it's impromptu. Make sure you guys, if you're listening to this on video on demand, if you're not aware, make sure you click the bell icon to be notified of my latest videos. This counts as a video alert. You would get an email blast that will tell you, hey, this video is going up or this stream is happening now. This will be a 30-minute stream unless it goes a little overtime. We might go a little overtime. It depends on what you guys are talking about. And because, as AJ Funko, thanks for coming into the chat tonight, Jackie. So we're doing a, let's see here, good. Today's topic is going to be open forum. This is going to be your guys' topic tonight. But before we start, let's kind of tell you what's going on with me. I did this stream tonight because I couldn't get a video out. Mainly because I have a family member in the hospital. And it's not looking great right now. That's why I've been running around. Just personal stuff going on with me. I'm in the middle of going into a move with my girl. We're moving our places together. She's moving in a couple weeks. I'm moving in at the middle of November of this year. So we're gonna be in a different place, still in South Florida. I'm going to be in a different location. You're going to have a studio walkthrough when I put the new studio together. You guys haven't really even seen my studio, where I shoot in. So I might put a video up before I do the move, like sort of a before and after sort of thing, because you can see what it kind of looks like. Because I know people have asked before what my collection room looks like. I call it my quote-unquote my studio. So that's the idea. I'm going to be talking about that before I pack up the room. Yeah, hopefully they get better SPC. It's not good right now. It's a heart-related issue. I don't want to go into a whole lot of detail, but it's not really good currently. But the prognosis is okay right now. He happens to be stable, and at least that's a good thing. So before we jump into Q&A portion of this stream, what do I want to do? Well, tonight's video was supposed to be the Office Pops. I talked about it before. That's what I was wanting to shoot tonight, but because of the issue with that and the move prepping and all sorts of stuff like that, I didn't have time to shoot a video tonight. And to rush through it and give you something that's subpar quality, I don't want to do that. How is the audio, guys, in the chat? Is it okay? Please let me know. Drink tonight's choice. We're doing some A&W root beer. Going a little old school. So I want to talk tonight a little bit first before we jump into Q&A. Hopefully we get a decent amount of people in the chat tonight. Is Funko Pop Battle Royale. I talked about it on the channel update video I shot last month. And I want your guys' input a little bit about Funko Pop Battle Royale. The idea of it's going to be running about 7 weeks. Thanks, Jay. Thanks, Jackie. It's going to be running for about 7 weeks. It's going to happen on Sundays. It's going to be concurrent, so it'll be week after week after week. You'll get a video every Sunday leading up to this event, or the conclusion to this event. The way it's going to break down, it's going to be a total of 8 pops in this event. Oh, there we go, 8. Here we go. 8 pops in this event. There's going to be 2, you're going to have a bracket, we'll call it like a NJPW, a New Japan Pro Wrestling. You might see my cat right there walking by. like New Japan Pro Wrestling, they have a A block and a B block. We'll have a very similar sort of format, but you're going to have 4 pops on each side. So you're going to have 2 here, and then 2 here. So the winner of each group would then be in a semifinal, and then it would go into the final. That's the idea. So one of the things I want to ask you guys about is some ideas of what we could do for this. One thing to take note before we come up with suggestions, I'll give you what I've come up with some suggestions myself, would be they have to share same universes. These are the guidelines. This is what to go by for everything. The guidelines is they have to share the same universe, meaning you can't have, I use this as a catch-all, I can't have Superman versus Goku. At least in the beginning rounds, the quarterfinals. I can't do that. They got to be sharing the same universe, and they have to have the same sort of gimmicks. And what I mean by that is if a pop is exclusive, the other pop has to be exclusive. Now, it doesn't matter what the exclusive is. The exclusivity is. It could be Hot Topic versus FYE versus Funko Shop versus Walgreens versus Box Lunch. It doesn't matter as long as that item is an exclusive one. It would qualify as long as the other item is exclusive. So I got to try to keep them. We're talking about that in a second, SPC. We'll talk about what I've done, because I don't know if you saw what I did originally. Yep, Windu. I got you. So you have the exclusivity, or you have gimmicks. And what I mean by gimmicks would be if an item has, for example, glow in the dark. The other one might be another glow in the dark. It could be glow in the dark versus flocked versus scented. Some type of gimmick between the items. They have to share a gimmick. It doesn't have to be multiple gimmicks. If it's glow in the dark and flocked versus something that's flocked, I don't care. As long as they share one gimmick between the items, that's fine. So those are the 3 ground rules we have to have. Same shared universe. If there's an exclusivity, they have to be both exclusives, and they have to share a gimmick if there's something with a gimmick. They might kind of not even have that and just go by the first rule. For example, we'll take SPC Bird's recommendation, Obi-Wan versus Mace Windu. The problem is I'd have to have a Mace Windu pop. That you only make one Mace Windu pop, and that is a Walgreens exclusive, which I happen to own. It would have to go against an Obi-Wan Kenobi that's exclusive, that I think I might have one. But they would have to be shared universes, and they'd have to be exclusive in this situation, and that's fine. So that's the idea going forward. I want to make kind of like it'd be a bracket system. I want to make it a little bit colorful, so it'll take me a bit of time to organize everything and get it ready. It probably won't be this week or next week. It'll be in the near future, just so you know that now. We'll circle back to Funko Pop Battle in one quick second. One thing about that SPC Bird, I've done 3 Funko Pop battles on the channel. I did one Star Wars, which was Commander Cody versus Captain Rex. We did White Ranger versus Green Ranger. And we did Kenny Omega versus AJ Styles. So we did 2 wrestling pops. I wasn't caring about one was AEW versus WWE. In my opinion, they were both wrestling pops. They were both non-exclusive, and it fit the criteria that I'm using. So those were the 3 Funko Pop battles I've done so far. I really like doing Funko Pop battles. And the main reason why I do this sort of event is because, 1, it's very fun to do. And 2, I'm a very objective-based way of doing this. I'm looking nothing but what I see in front of me. I'm not using my personal opinions, cloud my judgment. I'm reviewing the items, what they bring to the table. I'm not using any fan favor or my opinion, what I think sways. So one thing I'm adding to this, and I'll mention this and then we'll move on, is I'm going to implement a new way of picking what you like. I saw you could do this on YouTube, and it's pretty cool. It's like you would do a survey, but you could pick the items you want, and the community would vote on it. So instead of you typing in the comment section what you like, you would pick in real time who you think is better. And I want you to look at it sort of what I'm doing from an objective-based approach. Which item is actually better? Which one brings more to the table? If it happens to end in a draw, so the way I'm going to do it is the first round, we'll call it A block over here. So A block would start, and it would go, and it would tally for about a week. Then the next week would be the second round of that same A block. That would tally for a week. Then I'm going to go over here to the next group. This is still tallying, this is still tallying. I'm going to let this go for about 2 weeks. This one would then go, then this one over here would go, and then the winners for each block would then face off. And then that would go for 2 weeks. The idea Yep. That I believe you're talking about the Michael Keaton one. I'm guessing. I think I'm not entirely sure. But the idea then would be the winner. If it happens to end in a tie, when you do those voting things, if it happens to end, let's say, um, you know, 50-50, then I come in as the tiebreaker. I then pick what is better. I hope it doesn't end in a tie. I prefer it not to. But if it ends in a tie, I will break the tie. That's the idea. Then my idea is, if you guys like this, I'm going to do it as seasons. This will be Funko Pop Battle Royal Season 1. If you like it, if you want me to keep doing it, yep. Yeah, Batman Forever. That's the one. It's Val Kilmer. Um, if you happen to like it, then what we'll do is we'll do season 2. But the winner of season 1 would be put aside. We do season 2. It could be either same sort of brackets. We'll do another 8, or it could be a bigger tournament. I don't know yet. Depends if you guys like this format, if you enjoy me doing it. If you don't want me to do it, I'll do season 1 and that's it, and we'll end it as that. But if you guys like it and you want me to keep doing it, I will, and we'll go season 2. If season 2, that winner would put aside. If we only go 2 seasons, season 1, season 2 go head to head in a sort of grand battle royale, catastrophic or cataclysmic event, so to speak. If you want me to still keep doing it, it will go to season 3. That winner will go off. If we go, let's say 4 seasons, then it'd be a sort of a fatal 4-way, like a WWE sort of thing. If you go, you could do a 3-way dance. You could do a fatal 4-way. We could do all sorts of ways we could make this to keep it going if you guys enjoy it. But if the Funko Battle Royale format would be done on a Sunday. So that would be a Sunday video that you will get at least for 7 weeks. So it'll take 7 weeks, because if you think about it, match, 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 that'd be 4 weeks. Then these 2 would be a week, these 2 would be a week, and then you would have the grand finale between those 2 winners. That's when you start getting, when you get through those breakdown portions, that's when it starts getting a little bit tricky, because then you have dissimilar universes. You could have guys who have gimmicks who don't have gimmicks going against one another. So it can be one-sided, but again, this is what the audience, what you guys want. This is not my opinion. I'm coming from what you guys vote in that survey. That's the idea. That's one point that we'll talk about. Rook 180. Rook 180, if you're not familiar with it, is a way for me to do a video review, a speed review, in about 3 minutes or less. That's the idea. I'm still going to be doing it. I just haven't got around to it yet. I have, like I said, been extremely busy. I haven't had, like, even the last 2 weeks, I've had a whole lot of time to do any video shooting at all. That's why I'm doing this stream for you guys right now, because I didn't want to give you a week with absolutely nothing from me. I didn't want you to think I fell off the face of the earth. I didn't do that. So that's kind of what's going on there. Coming from that perspective. So Rook 180 will be happening. They're usually blind box reviews. Usually things, it's a full review. It's usually 2 items I'm reviewing. I have a counter. You'll see it ticking down on my table. That the idea is for me to beat the clock. And that's doing a full review, is looking at the packaging, presentation, paint, articulation, accessories, if they happen to have it. Loyal subjects, if we're doing a loyal subjects blind box review, that takes a little bit longer. So that usually is 1 figure, because they have articulation, real articulation. Arms move, they bend, hands has articulation, legs can bend, knee bends, knee joints, things like that. It does take a little bit longer to do that type of video review. That's why it would be 1 figure. And I'm barely able to squeak by when I do loyal subject reviews. I think my win-loss ratio is very low when I do loyal subjects, just because there's so much to talk about with those figures. Titan Vinyls, I can do that. I've done them before. I've got an okay win-loss. Usually Funko mini blind box mini mystery figures, I can usually knock those out, because there's no real articulation with it except for the head. So that's the stuff that I'm currently working on. We're nearing 9:15 now, guys, so I want to put this to you. Now, before we do that, I want your guys' ideas before we go to Q&A of Funko Pop Battle. Let's work back around to that, because I'm going to give you my ideas so far that I came up with. I want your guys' opinion, yay or nay. So I went through my studio looking for, just glance through it real quick. Here's some lineups I think would be very cool. Wish Bizarre Supergirl is in the chat tonight. We have the 8-bit pops that came out. I'm thinking Jason versus Freddy. I think that will be a good one. The Jason Hot Topic, which is the Jason when it wasn't the Jason It was the other guy from the original Jason movie, with he had the blue chevron instead of the red chevrons on the mask, versus one of the Pennywise exclusive ones. I have, I think, 3 different Pennywise from Stephen King's It. I think that would be a very good matchup. Predator versus Aliens. One of the xenomorphs. It'd have to be an exclusive. I think it has to be an exclusive xenomorph because the Predator I have is a. I think it's an exclusive, so it'd have to be an exclusive xenomorph. Moving on, we have Superman versus Supergirl. Hence me saying I wish Bizarro Supergirl was in the chat tonight. And the Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero versus Scorpion. I think those are very good matchups. Do you have any ideas that you'd want me to do? We have Obi-Wan versus Mace Windu. I do have Mace Windu. I just have to find out which Obi-Wan. I have an Obi-Wan. I think it is a Walgreens exclusive, so I think that would work. That would work. Obi-Wan v. Mace Windu. We could do that one. Absolutely. AVP would be good. Jason versus Freddy would be awesome. Yeah, but they're the 8-bit ones, mind you, SPC Bird. Because I have another Jason, which is the Hot Topic Jason, and I have a normal Freddy, but it's a standard common Freddy, not an exclusive Freddy. OMG, thanks for coming into the chat tonight. We're talking Funko Pop Battle Royale. Any ideas you think would be cool for it? The limitation, of course, would be shared universes, exclusivity, meaning if one is exclusive, the other one has to be exclusive, or gimmicks they may have. Glow in the dark, flocked, scented, anything along those lines. If you have any ideas, please shout them out that you think that would be very, very fun to do. I think that would be very fun to do Jason versus Freddy. That would be a very, very hard decision what people would like to pick. That's the idea of doing the Funko Pop battle, because I don't want the choices to be easy. I want someone to really think and go, okay, what's better? 90s cartoons. I do have 90s cartoons. I have Gargoyles versus... okay. We could do the it would be the 2018 GameStop boxes. 90s cartoons. We could do that, absolutely. I have, I think, all of them. I have Angela. I had Max, but I got rid of that one. So I have Angela versus... Well, that's tough. I have one. We could do Angela versus... Monterey Jack from Chippendale's Rescue Rangers. What do you think about that one? Gargoyles versus Darkwing Duck. I can do that. I can absolutely do that. I have the entire Darkwing Duck line. I have the entire Gargoyles line. Except for 2 of them. Darkwing Duck v. Gargoyles. We could do that. We could do, hell, I could do Goliath versus Darkwing Duck. What do you think about that one? Goliath versus Darkwing Duck. That's an idea. They are the 90s cartoons. That would work. Because I think we're close to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm at 7 right here, guys. If you give me one more, we would have our 8. We would have our brackets. If we want, I mean, I would either want to do the 8-bit Jason versus the 8-bit Freddy, or the Hot Topic Jason versus the Pennywise. I don't want to do... I mean, because I have a Chucky, but the Chucky is not exclusive. That one does not happen to be exclusive, unfortunately. So I would need another fill-in for that one. These could be comic-based stuff. If you want to do comics, we can do... I have tons of DC Pops. Let's see, Donald Nephew versus Darkwing Duck. We could... But if we do Gargoyle versus Darkwing Duck, that'd be one of them already. Kit Fisto versus Plo Koon. I have both those pops. What do you guys think about that, guys? Kit Fisto versus Plo Koon. I do have both of those. They are both Walgreens exclusives. If you think that would be a good matchup, let me know. I definitely want to do the Obi-Wan versus Mace Windu. Absolutely. The problem doing DC versus Marvel is you're going to have a lot of favoritism on that one, OMG. That would happen if one round was DC, one round was Marvel, then they would do that. I could see that. I can absolutely see that happening. DC versus Marvel would be very, very easy to do, but that would be, again, in brackets. You would have your DC bracket and you would have your Marvel bracket. Let's do a Marvel one. Because I do have a DC. We do have a DC one here, Superman versus Supergirl. We could do Deadpool. I have plenty of Deadpools if you want to see Deadpool in one. I have several X-Men. We could do a Deadpool versus Spider-Man. I have a couple Spider-Man pops. What do you think about those? Would you think that'd be too easy? Would you not like that one? Please let me know in the chat. And then we'll do about 10 minutes of Q&A after this. If not, we'll have our brackets at least partially set. What I want to do is make it a little bit colorful, and you'll have the pops with an image of the pop next to the bracket, just so you know. Spider-Man versus Miles Morales. I have a Spider-Man. I do not have a Miles, but I can pick up a Miles. That's not that big of a deal. Would you guys want to see that? Let me know in the chat. Miles Morales versus Spider-Man. I believe they have a Miles Morales from either Enter the Spider-Verse or a one based on maybe Homecoming. Let me see here what they have. Hold on. I'll tell you right now. Let me go to my handy-dandy Funko Pop. If you guys wanted to see my collection, that's what it looks like on Funko, the Funko app. That's what I have in my collection, if you're curious. Let's take a look here. We have Miles Morales. The video game one? That's a possibility. Let's see what they have for Miles Morales. They have one here. They have a caped one. They have one where he's just in his outfit. That is, I think, the video game. They have the what's this one called? Hold on. It's the Gamerverse one, which is him in his normal outfit. Don't like that one as much. You have this one here, which is he's in his full outfit. That one's vaulted, unfortunately. I think they have this one. This one looks pretty good. What do you think about that one? Would that one be a cool one to do? Hopefully you can see it. That's him in the black and red suit on a figure stand. Looks pretty good. Not that bad. I have several different Spider-Man pops. Into the Spider-Verse black suit. I don't even see it here. The only one I'm seeing here is... The only one they show me is this one. At least it's on the Funko app. They probably have it as the one I see. I think that black suit would be cool one to do. Hell, we could even do... I have several Venom pops. Would you want to do Spider-Man versus Venom? That would be a good one. That's a classic matchup. Hell, I have Carnage. Would you want to see Venom versus Carnage? Would you rather see that instead? Venom v Carnage? I have several Carnage. I have 2 different Carnages, and I have 2 different Venoms. I think the Venoms are exclusives. Let's put that in there. We'll put that on the list. Hold on. So we'll do Venom v Carnage. Carnage, if I can type. Rook, that would be a good thing. Star Trek versus Star Wars. That wouldn't work. OMG, because they're in 2 different universes. Yeah, I have to think. I have at least 2 Venom pops. One has the old exclusive Walgreens sticker, and the other one I think is Hot Topic, but I could be wrong. Let me look here. Hold on. I could be wrong on that. I think we're going to have a little overtime tonight, guys. As long as you guys are wanting to stick around. Let me look at Venom. What I have for Venom. I know they have the old Walgreens sticker. I do have that. If the application will load, that'll be a very good thing. The Funko app's not loading, so. Let me kill it here. Let me put this on Wi-Fi. Boop. We'll try this again. Wait for it to load. Yep, the blade's in his arm. I don't have the Marvel box one. The problem doing that one, I don't think the Carnage is an exclusive. No, I think he is exclusive, but I don't have the Venom one, unfortunately. If someone has the Venom wants to mail it to me, I will review it and give it back to you. That's the Venomized Black Panther. Let's go here. Let's go to Venom. Okay, so we have lots of Venoms and lots of Carnages. Um, that one is the blue one is the Lethal Protector, and I think I have the FYE one. I have them both, so it's probably going to be that Carnage here with the blades versus that Venom right here. So it's the blue Venom versus the red and black bladed Carnage. That would be probably that matchup. Let me make a note here. That would be the exclusives. And that's Venom exclusive. Blue. Cool. Let's save that. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have currently 7. And I'll think of another one. So that's what we got going on there. Now let's talk Q&A. We have about a little bit left here. Let's talk some Q&A. What do you guys want to talk about? Opening the floor to the viewers and subscribers. What do you want to talk about? One thing in last bit, I am going to be doing a mystery box opening, subscription box opening rather. I'm going to be probably picking up P.O.Box. If it's still available, I have to take a look here. I didn't check because I've been so busy. Like I said, I've had no time to myself. P.O.Box, I don't even know if I can still get the box. I think I can for this month. I can get it within 2 days, so I can still get it. I'm going to go back to P.O.Box. Thoughts about CM Punk and AEW? From what I've heard on What Culture, what I've heard through podcasts, there was originally communication between Punk and the Bucks and Cody. The problem is the original communication was done, I think, through like an email. It wasn't even done really professionally, at least from what I've heard. It was sort of like thrown out there. Punk, if you didn't know, SPC Bird hit a couple indie shows in the last. He did one, I think, 3 months ago, and he went last year under a mask. He hit a guy with a GTS and then ran off. If you could look online for CM Punk, mask CM Punk makes run in, you'll find the video I'm talking about on YouTube. My thoughts again, if they make him a solid offer, he might jump on it. He is doing his whole UFC thing. Power to the guy for doing this. But I think he's doing commenting as well. I'm not entirely sure where he stands. It would be very cool if he does go to AEW. It all depends, though. I didn't watch anything of SummerSlam. I've read the review. I completely got rid of the network. I know that me and Collecting Hobby haven't did any podcasts for the Worldwide Wrestling Podcast in several months. He has a lot of stuff going on, and we haven't did any podcasts recently, unfortunately. But I canceled the network. I'm done with them right now. Am I excited for It Chapter 2? Yes. I did see the first one. Very, very spooky, very scary stuff. I liked it. Me and my girl probably have to see it again to just remember what happened in it to see Chapter 2. It'll be interesting to see what they do with it. I will be seeing it, but I'm not a big horror fan. I mentioned it before. I'm not a horror guy. I get spooked very, very easily. I'm not that guy. I'm not a blood and guts guy. I've seen Jason's. I've seen Freddy's. I've seen Chucky's. I've seen It. But I'm not a horror guy. I'm not that dude. That's not me. That's why I don't get like horror boxes and stuff like that. I know those boxes are out there, but I that's not my cup of tea. What's the one thing I want to see happen in Rise of Skywalker? Give us the real lineage of Rey. I hated the second of the new trilogy. I despised it. I'm not a fan of it. I think the plot was weak. The story was executed horribly. They killed off Luke in a way that was not befitting a good hero. A hero that has all this history and lineage, to me, is very, very bad. It looked like the director tried to make his own vision, and to me, was horrible. JJ's going to go back and retcon it, fix it. So hopefully, it fix it well. The lineage, what my thought per se is, I think it's one of a couple things it could be. They could make Rey a clone of Anakin. That would make a lot of sense. She's that powerful. That's why she has all this training. She's the clone of the chosen one, if you will. That's an idea they could do. She could also be a clone or have lineage with Palpatine. That's what people are thinking as well. The Last Jedi I thought was horrible. Um, and the last thought I thought would be very, very cool, very befitting to see Rey Kenobi. A lot of people are thinking that, excuse me, that she could be a Kenobi, and I think that would be very, very cool if they make her a Kenobi. Uh, um, Ben had some type of tryst that was talked about in, I think, the Clone Wars or Rebels. One of the two they talked about, or in the comics. I think it was in the comics. He had a liaison with this one woman. That would be very cool if it was Rey who's the kid. Hopefully, do something and keep the lineage. If it is the rise of the, if it's Rise of the Skywalker, something has to happen with the Skywalker name. Either we're going to see a Force ghost for Luke, I would assume, something along those lines. But very, very cool. Hated it, hated it, hated it. Yeah, one thing they talked about SPC, a lot of people may not even know, if you watch the trailer for the Rise of Skywalker, that big kind of circle-shaped thing you see, I think that's going to be on Endor. I'm assuming. I'm not entirely sure what planet that piece is from. I'm assuming it's Endor or a moon of Endor's. That is the Death Star. That's the second Death Star that got blown apart. So they're going to be going to the Death Star for something. Luke versus Vader as Force Ghosts. We've never seen a Force Ghost fight, so that would be very interesting if they can do something like that. They'll probably spend most of their budget in CG doing it, but I'm not entirely sure. Again, not entirely sure what they're going to do. I thought personally speaking, I thought Last Jedi was utter trash. Hated it. Watched it one time in the theater. Was disgusted by it. Absolutely, it left such a bad taste in my mouth. I absolutely hated that movie. Despised it. Everything from the story, the plot, the characterization, everything about that movie was just bad, in my personal opinion. The best line in the movie was, it was the joke though, was when he threw the lightsaber over his shoulder. I thought that was very, very funny. Because I think, from what I heard, if you guys don't know, the original plot, I think you can look up this online as well. The original opening scene, I think from what I heard of the Last Jedi, was, if I remember correctly, or it might have been for Force Awakens, one of the two. I think it was Last Jedi, is where you saw it would kind of, you see the scroll go up, and you would see a severed hand with a lightsaber tumbling through space, and it would land on the planet where Maz found the lightsaber. That was, I think, one of the ideas they originally had for, I think, The Last Jedi. Force Awakens, I didn't have a problem with it. I loved Rogue One. Rogue One was an awesome, awesome movie because, in my personal opinion, it really wasn't a Star Wars movie per se. You have characters in the Star Wars universe, in the Star Wars canon, but it didn't feel like a Star Wars movie. It felt like a war film. Saving Private Ryan, things like that. It felt like a war movie. It didn't feel like a Star Wars film. That's what I'm getting at. That's what I thought was cool about it. There was a lot of death in that movie, a lot of it. But it was a very, very good movie. It was very, quote-unquote, realistic. Even going to, let's say, Star Trek, when I watched Enterprise, the first couple seasons of the Enterprise TV show, me and my friend of mine, we'd talk about this. My best friend who moved to Oklahoma, we talked about this. It didn't feel like you were watching Star Trek. It felt like a different TV show. It didn't have a Star Trek episodic feel to it. It felt different. Very similar if you watch BSG, if you watch Battlestar Galactica. It didn't feel like a Battlestar Galactica-esque TV show like you saw back in the 70s. I love the original the original BSG, the original Battlestar. I absolutely love. Speaking of that, let me get this for you real quick. It's a little dusty, so pardon me. I do have the box set. That's the Cylon box set. It is a bit dusty and dirty, but I do own it. Right here. Full complete set of the original Battlestar. Right there. So, I do have that. It's very, very cool. Solo, was not a fan of Solo. I didn't like Solo. There's a lot of things of it I didn't like. Not a big fan. I thought it was okay, but not great. Keep your eyes out, I think, in October, because we are getting a new Zombieland movie. I love the very first Zombieland movie. I so enjoyed it. I can watch a movie over and over and over again. Just like Dodgeball. Just like Zoolander. I can watch those films over and over again and laugh every single time. But Zombieland is coming out in October. I think they call it Double Tap. Remember correctly. The original cast is coming back. Great film. If you've never watched Zombieland, you have to watch Zombieland. It is a phenomenal film. It sort of hit that cult-like status now. It's very similar to, let's say, an Evil Dead movie, or Evil Dead 2, or Army of Darkness. I love it. Where's the Twinkies? Yep, exactly. OMG. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. One of my favorite movies of all time. If you were not aware, I've talked about it before on the stream. I've talked about it before in videos. One of my favorite movies, of course. I love Princess Bride. One of my favorite films of all time. I love Star Trek Wrath of Khan. Those are two of my absolute favorite movies ever. Love Zombieland. Loved Zoolander and Dodgeball. Some of my favorite movies ever. But Princess Bride is one of my absolute favorite films. And also Army of Darkness. Seen it multiple times. Still laugh. Still get a chuckle watching it over and over and over again. Even if I know the punchline, the joke, the story, I don't care. I still absolutely enjoy it. Very, very fun. So much. So dig it so much. My top 5 movies are Princess Bride, Star Trek Wrath of Khan, Dodgeball, Zoolander, and I probably would say maybe Zombieland. Those are probably my 5 top movies of all time. I wouldn't call Star Wars one of my top favorite movies. I enjoy it. I love it. I love everything about it. I had this big argument before Star Trek versus Star Wars. It was one of my streams. If you want to look it up, you can in the playlist for the streams. Star Trek versus Star Wars. I'm the guy in the middle. I like both of them. It's always one side or another. To me, it's very, very gray. I walk the gray. To me, I like both of them. My favorite Jurassic Park movie, I love the first one. The newest one was okay. It was very, very sad what they did in that movie. It can bring you to tears. Is there any movies that you hate? Hate Last Jedi. Absolutely. I thought it was horrible what they did with the franchise, as we were talking about. Despised it. Not very fun. Didn't enjoy it. Walked out of that movie with a bitter taste in my mouth. Also loved Matrix, the very first Matrix movie. Absolutely loved that one. Loved Willow. Absolutely loved Willow. Seen it multiple times. One of my favorite movies. I don't know if it's in my top 5, but it's up there. I definitely love Willow. Definitely dug it. Was way ahead of its time. Absolutely. Way better than it should have been. Very, very fun movie. Very much enjoyed it. Yeah. So I definitely love Willow. Anything else you guys want to talk about? We'll keep the stream going for a couple more minutes, and if you guys want to stay here, you can. If you want to call it, I will absolutely call it. I wanted to do a stream tonight with you guys because as I mentioned, a lot of stuff was going on. If you came into the stream late, I have a family member in the hospital, hence the reason why the stream is happening tonight and not a video. I was going to be doing the Office pop review, but I couldn't get around to shooting it and wasn't going to give you a subpar video and try to rush and cram and get it done. I don't want to do that. Who do you think is the best live action Spider-Man? SPC, that's tough. I mean, you got Toby, you got the second Spider-Man, you have the new guy. Uh, Toby was, in my opinion, a classic Peter Parker. He was a very classic. When you looked at him, he looked like a dork. He looked like a geek. He didn't look like Spider-Man per se. Why does wrestling suck now? Um, it went away from being pro wrestling into sports entertainment. That's what happened. Also, when you have no competition, you keep everything status quo and you don't make your product better. You sit on your laurels and keep it status quo. When you had competition, when you had the Monday Night Wars, WCW versus WWE, who was better? Who was better? They're jockeying for position, trying to get the people off, trying to get viewers or trying to get other people's talent. You had competition. Now there's no competition. There's no territories. Now there's competition coming back with AEW, and you have NJPW, you have Ring of Honor, you have other means of watching professional wrestling. And I'm not calling it sports entertainment, I'm calling it pro wrestling. I'm a pro wrestling fan. I've watched pro wrestling since the early 80s, and I loved watching it. I talked about it before, old Crockett Cup, old TNT, WCW stuff. I watch a lot of independent wrestling. I like stuff that's outside the WWE's realm of wrestling. Favorite actor or actress? Um, I don't know, Jackie. I don't know about that. I don't know who my favorite actor or actress would be. Who's yours? OMG, I would, if you haven't watched some of the Wrestle Kingdom stuff, when the Bullet Club was really at the peak of popularity, that was very, very good. The Okada versus Omega matches, 1, 2, and 3, were very, very good. The Wrestle Kingdoms and the Dominion matches were very, very good. Kenny Omega is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time with AJ Styles, at least in the modern era. if you excuse me, if you ask me who was my favorite wrestler back in the late 80s, early 90s, I would probably put in Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig, way ahead of his time. He could probably give any wrestler a run for the money even today with his style that he had back then. If you looked at his style then compared to today's wrestling, it was very similar style. Personally speaking, love Kurt Hennig. I love one of my favorite. He has he has he has his mouth runs a lot because that's what he's known for. Would be the Midnight Express. If you watch the old WCW stuff, OMG could probably tell you where I'm coming from here. I love watching the Midnight Express. Midnight Express versus Rock and Roll Express. Midnight Express versus the Fantastics. Um, those sort of matches to me were golden. Night of the Skywalkers back in WCW days. You had the Rock and Roll Express versus Midnight Express on a scaffold match. Midnight Express versus the Road Warriors on a scaffold. Those are awesome days to watch wrestling. WCW War Games, the match from Beyond. Love War Games. That's what I love. I agree, SPC. The Unfortunately, Brock draws money. He's what they call a legit athlete. That's why he was a UFC guy. That's the reason why he's a box office attraction. Personally speaking, I don't like when he comes in. He'll get his $1 million per event, his 500,000, 600,000, and he'll take the belt hostage and leave for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. To me, that's stupid. I don't know how Vince can have that on his show. I don't get it. Awesome, Jackie. Who doesn't love Hugh Jackman? Hugh Jackman's awesome. Love me some Hugh Jackman. But that to me is a big problem. That's the problem, OMG. He's never there. It's because the problem is they have Brock for so many amount of dates on his contract. It might be he'll have 12 appearances in, it might have, let's say, 18 appearances and maybe 2 pay-per-views or 3 pay-per-views for 2 years. So they got to use him very sparingly, and that's why they have to book him the way they book him. They book him, extremely strong. He never really loses. But that's Brock. Same thing with, let's say, Taker, with Undertaker. So that's the same idea. He's a box office attraction. Same thing now they're doing with, if you didn't watch it before, with the new Fiend character from Bray Wyatt. He is super over right now, extremely popular. They cut on the YouTube video him carrying around the severed head because it was too graphic. It's a very scary thing, especially for a little kid. He does deserve it, but I don't think he's going to get the belt again. I think he's going to go away. He wanted some time off, and he's probably going to come back, turn heel, and go with the OC or the original club. He's going to go back with Gallows Anderson and AJ. That's when they were part of the original Bullet Club. The OC, they call the original club. They are members of the original Bullet Club faction back in New Japan. If you're not aware, just to drop some knowledge, the Bullet Club was started by two people originally in New Japan. It was Finn Balor, Fergal Devitt, that's his name, Fergal Devitt, and Bad Luck Fale. I remember his name, Bad Luck Fale. Those are two people. That was his enforcer, and he had to come up with a name for a stable. He said they were shooters, so you got shot on people shooting. If you're a shooter, it means you're someone who's very technical. You'll shoot into somebody. You'll try to stretch them. That's the idea. And they came up with the name Bullet Club, and that stuck. And they used that as a heel gaijin team or a team of outsiders, someone who's not Japanese or Asian. That was the idea of the Bullet Club. So then you brought in Carl Anderson, who's known as a shooter as well. He's known as the Machine Gun, Carl Anderson. They brought in Doc Gallows or Luke Gallows. They became a very, very good tag team. Then they brought in, of course, AJ. The team got bigger. You brought in the GOD, the Gorillas of Destiny, the Tamatongas and Tangaloas, who's related to Ming, if you didn't know. That's Ming's sons. They're adopted, but they're his sons. So yeah. You should SPC if you can get decent tickets. I wouldn't spend a whole lot on the tickets. You could probably get them for about $20-$30. They can't even pack arenas now. Their ticket sales are extremely, extremely low. So yeah, so that's the thing. So they're in bad shape right now. So currently up to 9:45, guys. I want to thank everybody who came into the stream tonight for this. I want to thank everyone, your well wishes from my family member. Hopefully everything will work out. Again, I don't know. I heard the prognosis wasn't very good right now, so that's currently what's going on with me. I'm going to end the stream right here, guys. I want to thank everybody who came into this sort of impromptu stream. Remember to click that button to enable notifications so you'll get these alerts for these sort of videos. This, again, was spur of the moment. I wasn't planning on doing a stream tonight. I was going to do the Office Pop reviews, but that didn't happen. So I want to thank everybody who came into the stream tonight, guys. I'm cutting it in 3, 2, 1. Take care, guys, and bye-bye. Night-night.